I'd also like to extend my welcome to all of you. We really appreciate you joining us for the next 2 days, and we think that you'll find the time here very valuable. I'm going to spend just a few minutes talking about some of the trends that we're seeing in the industry today that are really transforming the way companies are doing business. I know many of you are very familiar with these, but I think it's important to level set this as we prepare for the agenda over the next couple of days. Matt already referenced that we're going to be talking about the different areas for cloud, analytics, mobile, social, and security. But if we really step back and think about what these trends are doing to our businesses. So if you think about cloud for just a moment, cloud are really enabling new business models. IBM released a SaaS study earlier this year, and in that study, they broke up the respondents into 3 categories. One were the pace setters, that were the ones that were broadly adopting cloud models. The second were the challengers, and then the third area were those that were really lagging behind. And in that study, the primary reason that companies are moving to cloud, the stated reason, is to lower costs. But if you look at the pace setter respondents, their comment was 71% of the pace setters felt that cloud really enabled them to change their business models. And they also talked about in the same study that many of the CEOs of the pace setters, when they were asked, who do you view as your major competitors? It was not from companies in their own industries, but it was these emerging business models that were impacting legacy industries because they were changing the way business gets done. And it also translates when you think about the data and how to leverage that data into new business models. And I want to just give you a very quick example of who I think is a pace setter that has really changed the way business gets done. Now, how many of you are familiar with the Nest thermostat that you can put in your home? Any of you heard of that? Well, the Nest company was actually developed by the founder's former Apple executive. And what the Nest thermostat allows you to do is the whole selling point for the Nest thermostat is it helps you reduce your energy costs. Because what it does, it's really an entry point into the home. And as you adjust your usage, it learns. And so what it will do is when you go to bed at night, it will automatically adjust it down. When you get up in the morning, it'll raise it if you're gone during the day. And so when you think about that, it was a very strong value proposition. But the real value was the cloud model that they implemented and what they did with the data. So Nest sold millions of these thermostats. They also sell smoke detectors as well. And what they did, they started collecting all this data about usage patterns of the people that own these Nest thermostats. And what they ended up doing, they sold that data to the utility companies for hundreds of millions of dollars. Because what it allowed the utility companies to do was to plan for usage. So if they had peak demand periods, then what they would do is they, through this Nest thermostat, could actually adjust the temperature up or down by a couple of degrees to reduce demand at that point. What's even more interesting is what Nest is planning to do with their extended group of partners. And they actually announced this back in June, but they're using that Nest platform, as I said, as an entry point into the home. And so what they're doing now, they're actually teaming with other companies. So as an example, they're teaming with Mercedes-Benz. And what the Mercedes-Benz, if you own a Mercedes-Benz car, what it will be able to do is communicate to the Nest thermostat when you'll be arriving at home. And then the Nest will adjust the temperature to your liking. They're also talking with other companies, like there's one company that actually has a band similar to the Fitband, where it monitors your activities. And so that wristband will actually monitor when you wake up, and then the thermostat will automatically adjust. And there's just hundreds of applications they're looking at. But I just want to use that as an example of how cloud can really change the business model of a company. And then with all that data that can be gained, you can think of new ways of doing business. And so when you think about a company like Nest, what they've done is really changed the the way utility companies are managing it. But it's not the utility companies that have the data. It's Nest that owns the data and really leveraging that to their competitive advantage. And if you think about other industries like financial services or healthcare, those industries are being disrupted by the implementation of new business models, and particularly with data. You're seeing new payment systems arising that are bypassing the traditional financial services payment systems. And I just wanted to emphasize that because as we go through these next few days, all of your clients are looking for companies to help them figure out how they transform their business, how they leverage data to their competitive advantage. And also, when you think about mobile and social, it's really changing the way we interact. And you're starting to see the convergence of both consumers and enterprise, because as consumers have more and more access to data, they're looking from an enterprise standpoint to have those same capabilities. So we're starting to see the convergence of enterprise and consumer, and then finally making sure we have the security around that. If you've had a chance to look at the agenda, I think you'll see we've got an agenda that's really full of a lot of rich content where we'll be talking about the transformation that's possible. The next point I want to make is when you think about most of our mutual clients, the research we've done actually shows that these companies recognize, our mutual clients recognize the importance of the IT infrastructure to support these new growth areas. And as you can see in this chart, even though 70% of them recognize the importance, less than 10% of these companies have confidence that they'll be able to execute on what they need to transform their business, to anticipate new competitors, and to really build competitive advantage. And that's where all of you come in. And as Matt said, it's really important that we forge a stronger partnership so we can meet the demands of our mutual clients across all of these growth areas. So as they build their infrastructure to offer new capabilities to their customers, that we're there to help them do that in a better way. And finally, I just want to talk about what we can do to help you in that transformation, because there's a breadth of capabilities we have. Matt talked about all the new things we're going to be doing in Software Group, but when you think about what we can do to help you become more competitive, to improve revenue, to improve your margins, to lower your risks, what we can do, there's a huge amount of resources we have and capabilities that we can help you to build the skills that you need and to build capabilities, to help you enable those solutions, and then to support you on your individual client engagements. And also to look for opportunities in the marketplace. I think that our mutual clients are looking for companies to partner more, because they aren't looking for a single company to answer all their requirements. Because there's so much disruption occurring in the industry, they're looking for the best in the industry to come together to help them reach their new customers, their new consumers, and to figure out how they can truly transform. So in closing, I'd like to just say once again, thank you very much for joining us. We have a high degree of confidence that you're going to find the next 2 days extremely valuable. And I would like all of you to think about how we can improve our collaboration as we reach out to our mutual clients. Thank you.